Episode 44 of White Claw Wednesdays. Welcome back, everyone. We're in the study at Frank's house. Cheers up.
Oh, cracking open some claws.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There it is. Cheers. Well,
I think that was a perfect intro,
that was
dude.
nice. So, we have a new president-elect.
We do have a new president.
No, I mean, new president.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Although some would say not confirmed.
Yes, because, I mean, I guess they'll do recounts.
Yes, but I'm very excited.
But, you know, when it comes to recounting and you have a, I don't know, 20,000 vote lead, I can't see that changing with a recount.
I mean, that's like the caveat, right? Like, you know, there is probably fraud, you know? Like,
Yeah.
the system's not perfect, you know? But
Yeah.
it's the best one we got.
Yeah.
And unless...
And it's the one we've used every time.
Exactly. And, you know, there is a change, sort of. Like, there was more mail-in ballots this year than ever before, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. You know, it's not a full new system.
It's crazy to me that not everybody does mail-in ballots because, I mean, this is the second time I voted, and in 2016 I did a mail-in ballot. Like, when I registered to vote, I chose to do mail-in ballot.
Yeah, me too.
Because, like, my dad explained it to me. He's like, you either go to the poll and you vote there in a public place, or they send you the thing to fill out, and then you vote, fill it out, close it up, seal it, and mail it.
Right.
She's like, oh, wow, I'll do that. It just sounded so much smoother and easier.
What I like about mail-in ballots is, I don't know, I voted in person before too, in college, and I didn't know exactly what I was doing. Like, I just sort of came there, they gave me the ballot, and then I voted, you know, but like when they mail it to you, they actually give you like a pamphlet and like this little ballot info sheet that you can like go into and like look at the arguments for this prop and that prop and you know who's supporting it, who's not supporting it. So I prefer mail-in ballots.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, you get the whole description. It feels like kind of almost like you're taking a test in a way, but you get to like choose.
Yeah.
You get to like choose the answers though. You know.
Well, dude, it's so hard to interpret all those different like props and little. I don't know what Riverside called them, but Riverside had. They weren't even props. They were labeled something else, but it was just so confusing. It was like
We had so many in California.
Commonwealth of Riverside. I was like, what is happening right now?
we had a ton in California. Of props.
Yeah, we did.
And one of the props was about letting convicts or, you know, people who have recently
vote.
Whether you let them vote. And I was thinking about it. Wouldn't it that's like everybody's like when they say convict, they're talking about like a wide range of crimes.
I think it's when you're on parole.
But what I'm saying is like you could be on parole for a lot of different things.
I think it did
Right?
Label.
You're
right.
Was specific.
I think some crimes you're not allowed to have parole.
You're not allowed to. Yeah. Okay.
And so I think that being on parole means that it wasn't
that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess if it was just parole, then like, yeah, that seems legit.
It kind of makes sense, but also on the other hand, like, you know, parole is like part of your sentence. So like technically you're not done until you've finished parole.
Yes.
But
you're not fully free.
So there's like two sides of the argument. Like if you mess up on parole, like you're going right back, you know? So that one I wasn't, super like attached to one side. I was just like, hey, whatever happens. Like, you know, I think it's cool. I mean, but then again, there's the argument that, hey, you know, they're not done. You know, they still have to like finish this out before, you know, they can be, you know, introduced fully, I guess, back into society.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just and you mentioned that whole parole thing, and it makes me realize that hopefully that prop wasn't talking about, you know, allowing someone who's, you know, like like a
serial killer.
Like a serial killer. Yeah. I was just trying to think of something really bad. Like a serial killer. Get a mail-in ballot and stuff.
Yeah.
But I assume that it's not that. But
No,
when I was first thinking about it, I was just like, oh, it's like, wow, you really have to kind of like pick and choose in a way, because like you're given the power to vote to a serial killer, but you're also given the power to vote to a person who just got in trouble for selling weed.
Right.
Or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't think it's that. It applies to everybody. I hope not.
Well, the one that pissed me off was, and I had mentioned it last week, was I think it was Prop 20 or something like that.
Yeah, which one was that?
That was the one where they were going to introduce a couple more crimes, serial theft and then organized retail.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
And I told you then, I was like, I'm watching it because I know for a fact that California is a bunch of enablers, and they voted against it.
Yeah, so pretty much you can wait. That means that you can still like steal a certain amount of stuff and not get busted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like police have their hands tied behind their back. Actually, let me confirm, because the last time I checked, it was voted against. Okay. But I don't know. I don't know if it's official yet. It wasn't very close. I'll say this.
What was I can never remember the numbers. I think it might have been 22. 22 was the one about whether or not Uber and Lyft and Grubhub drivers and all that stuff.
Yes, and they made that shit so confusing on purpose, I think.
They did, with the commercials and stuff, yeah.
Because my dad voted for it, and I was like, I think you're supposed to vote against it. And he was like, no, you vote for it if you're like, if you want them to get paid, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, no, I think that's against.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because against was, I'm pretty sure no on it meant that you wanted the companies like Uber and so on to pay full employee benefits to the people who drive for them. So basically, like, if you're an Uber or Grubhub driver or whatever it be, you're pretty much a full-time employee for this company.
Exactly.
Just like working for Google. Like working at an office 9 to 5 for Google. Like, in a sense, like you're getting like the same benefits from this massive application company, and voting yes on it was pretty much saying, no, Uber is still allowed to pay them as independent contractors, which meant something like all they have to do is pay them the money that is given by the customer.
No, I think it stays the same.
It stays the same.
It stays the same.
Nothing changes.
Right.
But isn't that how they get paid? Like, they get some of what the customer pays, and then Uber keeps some of it.
Absolutely.
So it keeps it like super simple, like no added details pretty much.
And
my buddy Luis, the guy who made our graphics, shouts out, he was telling me how he thought that even though that he was like, yeah, they should pay these employees as normal regular employees with healthcare and such, he was speculating that they couldn't afford to.
Well, they would have to do some serious restructuring.
Yeah.
I mean, the CEO couldn't make mega millions anymore. I mean, that's for a fact.
And then I was trying to like compare it to like, okay, how much money have they spent on these commercials trying to get the yes so the workers stay independent contractors?
Millions, dude.
So yeah, and then I was telling Luis, I was like, okay, so they spend millions on that, so they have enough for that, but they don't have enough to do like the full healthcare thing. It's like, but you just don't know, you don't really know, if they do or if they don't.
Well, it wouldn't, they would have to see. This is the problem. Like, Uber is like such a great service, and the reason it's so great and convenient and easy, the app's easy to use. I mean, it's basically instant on your phone. Hey, you want to ride? Okay, it's 4 minutes away. You know. The reason it's so good is because they have a surplus of money. They have so much money that they're, giving raises to the CEO and the executives, and they're investing so much money into the app, right? They're investing into all this, new cities, new this, new that, and that's the reason it's amazing.
They're spending too much on everything else in a way.
But then, if you require them to do this, then you should expect your service to go down. It's not going to be as good of quality. So it's give and take, but they won. It just goes to show you money talks.
So it was yes. Everybody voted yes on it.
Yeah, 58% yes. And dude, it's so funny.
That's actually pretty close for how much
is.
they put into the campaign.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe that shows not everybody.
But the amount of money they're gonna save.
They couldn't fool everybody. They were,
They couldn't fool everybody. They fooled enough.
They fooled enough, but they couldn't fool everybody.
Because they made it seem as if all the app-based drivers wanted this.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is good for them.
Yeah.
And
it's good to know that most people understand that those are actors who have been hired to say those words.
apparently not, though. Most people think it's true because they won.
I know, but I'm just saying if it's just 58%,
Yeah.
okay, most is the wrong word. What I should say is I'm glad to see that. I thought it was going to be a landslide. You know, the way I was, with the amount of commercials I was seeing,
Yeah.
I was guessing like 75% yes, 25% no.
Yeah.
So to see that is nice to know that there's more people who understand that it's the trickery in a way.
I think it's the people that do spend a little time trying to figure it out, you know? Those are the people that that pass it up. Because if you look down at the, you know, whatever poster or ad you're saying, it's like funded by, you know, Uber, Lyft, and it's
exactly.
like, okay, well, like,
wait a second.
I'm getting bamboozled, you know?
And then also there could be, I don't know, some people who work for these you know, app-based driving services that wanted the yes.
I mean, possibly. They did a survey and it said 4-1 wanted to be independent contractors.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Everybody has their own way of living, so like I don't know
exactly.
The independent contractor life could work better for some than others. I have no clue. It's just coming from like a general like wide viewpoint. You know, you hear about like, oh, these are massive companies. Shouldn't they be giving their employees health benefits?
Right.
It's just like when you just simplify it just to that, it's like, okay, it seems logical. But when you get down to the details of anything, it changes. You know.
Yeah, I think the idea of like an Uber driver doing it full time, I don't think that the app was ever meant. I don't think that the business model, the app, it wasn't meant to do that. You know, it was meant to, hey, you work a 9 to 5, you get the benefits there, and then if you want to make some extra money, then you drive Uber. And it's convenient, it's easy, like it's so simple.
That's what makes me think the drivers may have some, you know, a good amount of them may have wanted to, you know, stay independent contractors because it felt to me as, I don't think I ever asked this question in an Uber, but you're almost always in an Uber with someone who asked the question. So how long have you been working for Uber? And if that's you, by the way, that's totally cool. But it is funny like how much that question's asked. And often the answer you hear is like, oh, blah, 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 X amount of years. But then they're like, and I do this, and this is like, I do this when I got free time trying to make extra money. It felt like it was always like extra money. You know?
Yeah.
Which seems like it makes sense for a job where you have to like already own a car.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like if you have a car that's yours, it's most likely you have a job. So
yes, this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, like I don't know how it would work. You know, like what if I just wanted to log in and like do like 3 or 4 hours in Uber?
Yeah, exactly.
And all of a sudden I'm an employee. Like, am I required to do 20 hours a week now?
Like I log in for an hour a week, I get free healthcare.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's like a certain amount of hours you have to work, but then do you like lose it if you don't hit that in 1 month?
I mean, but
do they just not cover you?
Well,
like, you know,
it's
confusing.
This question won't be answered, right? Because it got yes, right?
This is true.
So it's like
doesn't matter.
We don't even know.
But it's just crazy because I saw an ad for this, and it was like some dude who was talking to, you know, the video or whatever, and it's on Instagram, and he's like, vote yes on Prop 22. You know, I like to be an independent contractor, blah, 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 whatever, you know? Yeah. And then I go to the comments because I'm curious, you know, I'm like, what is everyone thinking? It's literally just, no, vote yes, no. And it's just like unbelievable. It was like overwhelming, but I mean, I guess, you know, all that stuff works. If you just throw the word yes, Prop 22 at someone so much, enough, it will work. You know, they say, okay, I've seen this. Yeah,
like, oh, I remember seeing like a,
money talks. But yeah, so it was Prop 20, and 62% of Californians voted no. Can you believe that?
Remind me which one this was again.
Oh, this was the one. This was the one that I was upset about. This was the one about adding a new set of crimes and felonies.
Oh, okay, this is the shoplifting.
And stricter theft, and then it would create a DNA collection for certain misdemeanors.
So that's not happening.
No, it's not
Yeah.
happening, man. I don't understand.
I don't know if that's what I don't know if that's one of those things where it's.
I don't get it. I feel like you have to live in the big city and just and
Are there
listen to all that
Yeah.
stuff happening. And
Yeah.
Like just God, it makes me so upset.
You think there's enough people out there who are involved in the scenarios that thing is covering? I mean, that proposition is covering? That proposition covers different scenarios in a sense of where, like, now you have to take their thumbprint if they stole a pack of gum. I don't know, just random example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it changes up kind of like the whole work status quo in a way. And I don't really know how many jobs or people with responsibilities involved in those scenarios are voting like no or yes on the prop. I don't know if that would make a difference.
That's a good point.
Like
I don't know.
how many people out there are reading that and be like, man, that would make my job harder, and then they're like, no.
Probably not that many.
Probably not that many.
Because there can't be that many people.
There can't be that many working in retail or working at the place where you where you get your thumb. But there are those people.
But there are, yeah. And it would obviously cost money.
Yeah.
To do because number one, you're gonna have more people in prison.
Yeah.
And number two,
and that's what makes
you're
me
gonna.
think
I mean, all the logistics of the fingerprinting and the DNA collection. I mean, it's got to be money.
There's more people attached.
Yeah.
Like there's like you have your people directly related to the scenario, but then you have all your ripple effects. So you probably have those people well aware of the ripple effects.
Yeah.
And they vote no.
But what are the ripple effects of it currently? Like Walgreens gets $750 stolen.
Mm-hmm.
What's the ripple effects of that? Then you got the employee counting inventory, saying, "Okay, what did they take? What did they take? What did they take?" If someone's just coming in, just cart full of whatever, now the employee's got to count it all. Okay, I think they stole this and this and this. We're down on inventory here and here. That's got to suck, dude.
Maybe it's because
And then if it's under $950, he's like, well, shit, they can't do anything about it.
I'd be curious. How many more props get a no than a yes?
I will tell you.
Because you think about that, and I ask that question because a lot of the times, me included, people don't like to change, and people don't like to make changes. And changes always require work. It's why the whole "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" saying is always so relevant. Because you want things to just keep going the same. And as soon as you get change, you have to...
change is tough.
Yeah, you have to change. Change is effort, always.
Yeah, and I mean, most people don't like change. So here's your answer. 7 no's and 5 yeses to California.
Okay, so yeah.
So I think you're right.
So I'm a little bit right.
So let's go over them. So medical research bonds were a yes for Cali.
Okay.
That was the stem cells, I believe.
Research. And that's looking into how to give us superpowers. So go on.
Yeah. The commercial property tax, where you're taxed based on the market value of it currently, not what you purchased it for. Mm-hmm. So currently you have a fixed property tax rate when you purchase, let's say this is for commercial, so your business. Mm-hmm. You get a fixed rate as you purchase it. Mm-hmm. Now it would be sort of an ongoing, hey, it moved up, or, you got to do better because it moved down or something,
Ryan, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like a math question that I think every single Californian did what they usually do with math questions, and they guessed.
Probably.
They read that description.
It's very close,
They read that description, and then they're like,
it's very close,
yes
though.
That's why it's close, Ryan, because everybody was like, huh? Uh-huh. And then they just bubbled yes or no.
I hate when people think it's like, it's just so simple. It's like...
It's so not.
Someone posted...
That's why it's tough to choose.
Well, okay, I'm not talking about math. I'm talking about, like,
You're talking about propositions.
Yeah, okay.
I'm making the joke. That's the joke.
It's hard.
It's just as confusing as any math word problem that would throw you off.
Like, somebody on my social media posted this because this one was a no. And apparently the funding goes to local governments and schools. And someone posts, like, so we're not funding schools anymore? Unbelievable. And it's like, you can't just simplify it to that.
Yeah,
you know, like, it's so complex. It's so complex. You know, like, how much funding is going to schools? Probably not that much. You know?
Well, it's never. I mean, I don't think it's ever been that much. So
No, and you know, and then we're talking about, okay, well, how is this going to hurt, you know, local businesses? And I mean, huge businesses that offer a ton of jobs. Now they're going to have to pay massive more property taxes if they've owned it for, let's say, 25 years. You know, now you're talking about the purchase price back then to what it's worth now, which, like, you know, just factor in inflation, probably like a 10% increase.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't appreciate when people simplify it like that. And who knows? Maybe I'm simplifying the 21, California Prop 20. I'm obviously biased on that one, but very frustrating. Okay, 16, end diversity ban. So this one I thought was going to pass. I thought this was going to be a yes. This was the repeal, what's it called? Oh, I can't think of it. Let me just read it.
Is it some policy or something?
Nah, it's called something. It's called something. Repeals a constitutional provision that made unlawful for California state and local governments to discriminate against or grant preferential treatment to people based on race, ethnicity, or national origin or sex. And there was something, affirmative action. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
And so this was a vote yes to end affirmative action, which is basically you're allowed to look at a person's race and decide, okay, you know, we have terrible diversity in our company. You know, we're going for this or we're going for that. To sum it up, try and sum it up. That's a no. I'm surprised. Are you surprised on that one?
You know what? That's another one that confuses me.
It's all of them confuse me.
I don't like understand. Like I'm just like,
it is strange, because when I apply for jobs, it asks me all that stuff. Like, it asks me, hey, what's your ethnicity? Are you white? Are you Latino? Are you male? Are you female?
Why does that
matter?
Are
you non-binary?
Why does that matter?
I don't know.
If it's a job, like, if I can do the job, why does it matter if I'm, you know, an orc from Middle Earth or
I don't know.
Or Franklin, you know? What does it matter?
That's a good question. You know, I think it also allowed companies with high diversity to get like grants or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, well, I mean, I get.
Personally, I voted for it, but I
don't remember what
I don't know the repercussions
of that. I
of that.
don't remember what I voted for any of these. I was reading them and then I was making a decision. But when you read something and then you make a decision without rereading it, understanding it, breaking it down, knowing every detail, you forget the decisions that you make, you know, because it's just like flying through a test where you don't know any of the answers on it, and you know you don't know any of the answers going in, and you're just like, wow, this is going to be fast. It's multiple choice, right? Oh yeah, I can just go. I'm going to be done in 15 minutes. Can I leave early? Okay,
I put yes too much. I'm going to put a no.
I'm going to put a no. That's 3 B's in a row. I should probably do a C.
Okay, former felon vote. Yes, we already talked about that one. Allow age 17 to primary voters. That one was like, I was actually kind of worried about this.
What happened with that one?
That was a no, thank God.
Good.
I mean, I was an idiot at 17. Like, not.
So was I.
And you think I was going to read about all this stuff?
Yeah, heck
nope.
No,
I was just going to.
Heck no.
You know, and we're joking about it. We're joking about writing in yes, no. But, like, that is what I would say
been doing.
40 to 50% of 17-year-olds
And there'd be
would
so
do.
many 17-year-olds writing in stupid, write-in nominations.
They would put butt chief. Guaranteed.
Butt chief.
If you allowed 17-year-olds to vote, there would be at least a couple votes for butt chief for president.
Also,
guaranteed.
Some votes for Mike Hawk. Some votes of Philip Oliver.
Those are good jokes, but not when you're voting for president.
Some votes for Ben Dover. Just so many good names to put
Ben
down
Dover,
on the
man.
list. Just so many
Ben
good names.
Dover. I wonder if like do people think of these names, or is someone actually named that and then they're like,
and then someone realizes it. Holy
no
shit.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so glad that's a no. Change property tax rules. This one I really don't understand, but basically the disabled and wildfire victims, as well as when you transfer your residency to your children or a family member, you get tax breaks, I think. That was a yes. I don't know if I explained that correctly, and I'm honestly super confused about it still. Well, I shouldn't say it's a yes. It's 89% reporting, and it's 51 to 48%. So I don't know, but
that sounds like
it's not confirmed, but it's leading basically.
You have kids, you pay less taxes. Is that what that's saying?
No. So like, let's say in like 30, 40 years or whatever,
Yeah.
your parents retire and they want to move to like freaking Malibu or whatever.
Okay.
And then they transfer this to you.
Oh.
Your name is here, whether by death or by just regular transfer. You get a tax break on that, or a tax increase.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know.
Okay.
Something to do with taxes.
Got something to do with taxes. Okay.
It's a yes now. Again, there's 10% more that need to be reported. Prop 20, stricter parole. We already went over that. Local government rent control. That was a no. That one I figured wouldn't pass because unless you've lived in an area that has had rent control, and basically it was the cities versus everywhere else in America. Or everywhere else in California. So that was a no.
And everywhere else in California won.
And everywhere else in California won. I mean, there's more people outside, the cities.
Yeah.
In total. Okay, the app-based driver one, that one's a yes. Dialysis clinic standards. This one I had no clue. I literally didn't even vote because I was like, this one is so toxic and confusing. I can't even decide. Like I don't even have a fathom of thought. Oh, maybe this is the good choice, Do you know anything about that one?
I don't know anything about dialysis except I've seen a lot of commercials about dialysis.
And it was
how
big.
It affects old people.
There was a lot of commercials for it, and I feel bad. Like I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'd rather not just be a stupid 17-year-old and write something.
Exactly. Like we should just for that one just leave the voting to the old people who actually deal with dialysis.
Expand consumer privacy. That's a yes. Glad we put a yes on that one.
Expand make consumer privacy, but okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
So, prevent businesses from sharing personal information, correct inaccurate personal information, and limit businesses' use of sensitive personal information, including precise geolocation, race, ethnicity, and health information.
Wow.
So your interests will still be sold. Hey, I like this. I like that.
But just not who you are, as
exactly.
Actual person.
But they'll know. Your ID is this, 30 character or 30 digit ID, and then that is linked with ponies and puppies and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So don't worry, you'll still get your nice ads, just all your personal information. And then last one, approve replacing cash bail. No. So this means
that you still get a bail amount.
You still get to pay cash for bail.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a mouthful. I'm okay with all of them, except for that one.
The shoplifting one.
The shoplifting one.
Yeah. It's for. I'm okay with it until it affects me.
Exactly.
So it's like this. When it comes to confusing-ish, it's like, damn, this is like fast forward 5 years from now and something's coming back to bite me in the ass. I'll just be like, oh, damn, I wish I would have voted yes.
I mean, you'll never know the repercussions of your vote, really. I mean, well, sometimes you do, I guess, but it's hard. It's hard to determine. That's why it's just not good to simplify it into like one thing. It's a very broad and complex. Each one of them is very complex.
Yeah.
Just be glad we live in a system where there is somebody, a governing body that makes these things happen when we vote on them.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, yeah.
From paper to actuality, man. God bless America.
Yeah. I would just like to think about when I was in the times I've been into New York, I always would look at the buildings, just look around me, be like, damn, I have contributed nothing.
Dude,
and I like that.
I feel that. I feel that.
And like,
so
I mean,
much.
I like that. I'm cool with that, and it's honestly mind blowing. You know,
It's ridiculous.
When you're in a place as impressive as New York or whatever most impressive place or thing you've seen or done, whatever, it's just amazing to be like, wow, I didn't have to deal with this. You know, I didn't have to make this happen, but a lot of people did. It's impressive.
No, it's actually very insane. Like you walk through the streets of New York and you're like, how did we do this?
Yeah, how do we keep this going every day?
Everyone moving. I mean, how do we feed all those people in New York? Where are the farms?
Yeah,
where's the food coming from?
Island.
I mean, legit.
Yeah.
There's so many goddamn people in that city. And also, no one's growing food there.
Yeah.
Everything is being imported, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. How?
It's crazy.
I mean, a constant flow of semi-trucks. It never stops.
In the traffic, there's always honk. It's crazy to be in a place where you're always hearing honks.
Yeah, dude.
You don't.
I have a funny joke about it.
In California, a honk carries a lot.
It's a fuck you.
A honk.
It's a get your shit together.
But it's like more than that. It can be so many things. You know, but
yes.
In New York, it's just everywhere. It's just everything in a way.
A honking is like you say. Honking isn't rude.
It's
necessarily.
like your car talking.
Exactly.
It's like everybody.
The cars are just talking to one another. Boop boop. I'm right here.
Yeah, there's so many cars. There's so many cars that they all have to have conversations with each other. They have to get along. They have to communicate.
Dude, someone should make animated film about that. Like Disney should make an animated.
I hope everybody
TV series.
I hope everybody immediately thought of the Disney Pixar trilogy Cars.
Yeah, but not in New York.
Oh yeah, because that's race cars.
Yeah.
But it would definitely have to be like a spin-off.
Oh, from Cars?
Yeah.
That would be cool. Dude.
Like if Pixar, here we go.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Pixar makes a spin-off movie called City Cars.
Mater in New York. Oh, come on. Don't do that.
Well,
that would be a hitter.
I feel like City Cars is a good name.
City Cars is good too.
Because it's like you still have the cars part of the name, and then you just like add the city part, and then everyone's like, "Oh, this is taking place in a city." But it's kind of you reach a tough part in storytelling and just world building because the cars are supposed to be sentient and like on their own and like existing like they're cars. Like there's no people in this universe. So it's like if there's no people in this universe, it's harder to explain having a city, I think, than having to explain why there's like races. Because if you're living in a universe with where cars are the people, obviously racing is going to be like the thing. But if you take that kind of like, oh, cars are people, and you put it in the city, it's like, okay, why do we have a city if they're cars?
There could be but people would make a storyline for it.
Anything is possible.
Right.
And also when you're making a movie for kids,
where do they get their gas, man?
You have leeway. You have like, you know, your fucking suspension of disbelief becomes much greater.
You can just throw things out.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Because you're working, you know, you're showing the movie to kids and they're not thinking as in depth as adults are.
What is didn't the Kardashians do a spinoff in New York?
Yeah, well they've had a few spinoffs.
It's like Kim and Kylie take New York.
I think it might have been. Well, there's like
Mater takes New York.
There's Chloe and Courtney take Miami, I think. There might be Kim and.
There's definitely a New York one.
There's a Miami and a New York one. I know that I'm like almost like 99% sure. Please correct me.
No, there's definitely a New York
comments. One. I know. I think the Miami one is Courtney and Chloe, and I think the Miami one was the first spinoff. I think Courtney.
God, they're just rolling
Courtney
dough,
and Chloe
dude.
Take Miami. You know the show's coming to an end, right?
Yeah.
And did you hear about Kim having that, like, buying that island, like, renting that island for her 40th?
Oh, yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I just thought that was dope.
Oh, yeah, it's sick.
Just because I'm just like, dude,
I'm like going through Snapchat. People are hating, man.
People are hating. Like, I brought it up because I wanted to talk about haters. But, like, I also wanted to talk about just, like, how, like, that's, like, exactly what I would do.
Yeah, I would do, yeah, and you know what? F you if you think you wouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about this maybe, like, I don't know, 10 episodes ago, but when her and Kanye were having that freaking, or when Kanye was going crazy, hypothetically.
Yeah.
And he went to his Wyoming ranch. And then literally, like, they're having a talk and like Kim's crying and there's
Yeah.
paparazzi snapping photos outside
Yeah.
her car, let her be.
Yeah.
You know, like she's
That-
got to buy an island. She has to get
Yes,
privacy.
yeah.
She literally has to. She can't even go to Wyoming, which like there's no one in Wyoming.
Yeah, I know. That's true. But I mean, yeah, and it's just I think like the whole hate thing comes from just the jealousy, dude.
Jealousy
Just
for
some
sure.
Jealousy,
I mean, I'm
man.
jealous of it. Would I want an island?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's like the difference between like, because I'm jealous of it too, but it's like the reason why we don't like get involved, get in with the hate, and like the reason why we're not like just like slamming or like, oh, how stupid. Like we're just like, we're not like, tearing into or anything, because we understand the whole that we're jealous,
Yeah, I think so.
And when you understand that you're jealous of somebody, it becomes so much easier to just appreciate what they have, what they've accomplished, and just kind of like, I wouldn't say not, you don't even have to look up to them, but just like being like, damn, like I'm gonna get that too, something like that attitude, or just like, or not even that attitude, maybe not even I'm gonna get that too, but more like props to them or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like it's so much easier to deal with jealousy when you admit and understand I'm jealous.
Yeah. And I think jealousy is like a sort of like a double-edged sword in a sense, because like you know, let's say,
I'm so happy you say that. The Drake lyric is,
Yeah.
jealousy is just love and hate at the same time.
whoa,
That's the double-edged sword you're talking. That's from Take Care, by the way. Greatest album by Drake.
wow.
But that's the double-edged sword you're talking about. Right
Basically,
there.
Drake should sign me, is what you're saying, as
Yes,
a writer.
because now you have come up with a new jealousy double-edged sword line. If you tell Drake, hey, Drake, I know you said jealousy is love and hate at the same time, but you know what it also is? It's also a double-edged sword. He'll take that and he'll come out with a song called Double-Edged Sword.
Dude, what if he made an album, Double-Edged Sword?
That's actually
That's a fire album
that's a
name.
sweet. Yeah, that's a sweet title.
No, it's a double-edged sword, because I feel like, let's say, we'll use this Kim instance. Like, obviously, I want to be able to rent an island.
Yeah, and invite all my friends.
To be able to do that, you guys got to understand, she hasn't had any privacy. She has to try and get privacy. Like, if I want privacy, I just go into my room. She has to try her hardest to get privacy. And so, you're jealous of that. Oh my God, like I want the island, oh my God, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
But like you don't want everything that comes with it,
Yeah.
And you'll never be able to tell. It's almost like the grass is greener on the other side,
Dude,
you get to that point and then you look back and you're like, I just want a normal life.
Dude, the grass is always greener, man.
It is. That's why you just got to look at what you got and just appreciate it.
That's also that the whole grass is greener idea kind of it links pretty well with the jealousy, because as soon as like I just like I said with the understanding, as soon as you can admit you're jealous, jealousy honestly gets fun at that point. Like it's sort of a fun thing, and it's the same thing with the grass is greener. As soon as you can understand the idea of the grass is always greener, then you can be like, all right, well, shit.
Maybe I should just slow down and
Maybe I should just like stop.
What I got going on.
Stop looking at that green ass grass over there.
Yeah.
And just shove my face into what I'm standing in and see how green it is.
All this manure, dude.
Just shove your face in it and just taste the dirt.
But maybe you would find a seed.
Yes, exactly.
Man,
you get
we're
a seed
poetic, dude.
You get a seed caught in your mouth. You choke on a seed and you realize.
And then you cough it up. Your
Cough it
saliva fertilizes it.
And then your grass becomes greener.
Look at that, dude.
And then you look over to the other side of the grass, and the grass is all one green color.
And then gophers are eating up the grass.
They're destroying that side. Oh, man.
Oh, shit. We should do SNL, dude. I feel like. We should do like a knockoff SNL. By the way, did you see the SNL from after the election?
With Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle.
I watched the monologue.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey was doing more Biden stuff.
Uh-huh.
The only thing I watched from it, I watched Dave Chappelle's opening monologue, which I thought was really good. It was like 16 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it just had. I've noticed ever since Dave Chappelle came out of like his like sort of like retirement kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All his comedy has been so relevant to what's happening whenever he's like doing a set.
Mm-hmm.
And not only has it been relevant, but it's always been funny.
Mm-hmm.
So like he makes these interesting points interesting observations that make you think and be like, damn, like really make you like, whoa, like let me just process that. But it's also like you're laughing.
Yeah.
Like you're laughing and processing it.
He makes good points.
Yeah, so I was really impressed with his monologue. And I've seen Jim Carrey do a little Biden. I watched one of like when they did the debate. I watched Jim Carrey's impression of, and I liked how he's doing like the finger guns.
Yeah.
And it's really funny.
Do they dye his hair? What do they do?
I think it's a wig. It's a wig.
It's a wig.
Yeah.
Man, they must blend that into his face.
Yeah, because they have like that sort of paste thing.
It's like skin paste.
It's like a skin paste to where they connect your skin to the skin paste. So it makes it look like the hair is on your head because it's not just a wig. It's like a wig that like also attaches to like skin paste. So that makes it look like it's on your head.
That is cool. And I always wondered because I was like, did he dye his head for that? Because that looked legit. I mean, it looked like him.
Yeah.
My family was joking around because it was like right when Biden was announced the winner that day.
Yeah, it was like Saturday morning. He gets announced.
Saturday morning, yeah.
Like the whole the CNN, Associated Press, whatever they
all the networks.
They all call it.
CNN called it. Go.
No, dude, you know what's so crazy to me?
Fox, MSNBC.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like I wouldn't be that shocked if
that's how it is.
There was some like games of telephone with the information of, hey, we got Dave Chappelle hosting Saturday Night Live. We need to know who won. Like, because he was here hosting Saturday Night Live 4 years ago when Donald Trump won, and we knew he won, and like we need to have that. We need to bring that same energy back. So like, hurry up and count. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was like they might have taken some leeway to be like, all right, we got to announce this now before they start running through their
I honestly wouldn't doubt it
for their skits and practicing and stuff.
I wouldn't doubt it because
think about how big NBC is as like a broadcast corporation, and they're probably all.
I think CNN called it first though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's like people like everybody kind of knows each other. I assume.
Yeah. Well, they're all from New York.
Well, yeah, and then like you just have like, oh, I talked to my buddy at CNN, and you like work at NBC, and then like the dude at ABC is like, oh, I talked to my buddy at Fox, and like everybody knows a person somewhere, and that's what I mean by like the game of telephone.
Yeah,
you get this whole SNL's Aaron, like we need to call this, and then somebody ends up like getting the count first, and then they know about that telephone game, and then they push it forward.
Yep,
like we made it, got it.
Yeah.
Not saying that means that Biden didn't win, because the days have gone on since then, and the numbers have consistently.
Oh no, I mean
they've
won.
stayed the same.
I mean he won the popular vote by 5 million already.
5 million, yeah.
So I mean, who knows? Like California hasn't even been fully counted.
It's so weird. It's so weird how the world works when you look at the map of the red and blue states, and you just see so much red in like just like the center of the country, and then it's like you find out he's 5 million up in the popular vote, and you're like, damn, everybody lives on the edges.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, it's really cool. There's a graphic going around online. It's a GIF, and it shows like the states, and like Trump won, these states or whatever, and it shows the red and blue, and then it like transitions into like population and what the population voted, and you just see like all this red go away and all this blue just like surface. Yeah. It's crazy. I honestly don't, it makes me think. I saw something on Vox the other day, and, it's like you think the Electoral College, like, I get it. I get it that, California, New York, like, that we would be able to swing the election. Like, it would be pretty much always Democrat, basically,
Yeah.
Like, even when Hillary lost, popular vote was in her favor,
Yeah, exactly.
So it would be easier for, the Democrats to win. And Vox was just saying stuff like this, like, oh, yeah, like, that's why the Electoral College is in place. But, not many other countries have something similar like this. And the reason people don't want to, give it away is because, well, if we actually do the popular vote, then, conservatives would need to adopt a lot of the, liberal mindsets to sort of gain that audience. And, like, it would naturally balance itself out, over time. But the far right would need to adapt
Yeah.
and sort of say, okay, well, like we have to give this up or else we're going to lose,
Yeah.
Like you think of Canada. Canada's conservative. They gave this example. Canada's Conservative Party, no on guns, abortion rights, like all these like major topics in America where like, the Conservative Party is like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Canada's Conservative Party is for them, and who knows, maybe they're against a couple of things that we're for or they're for or whatever, but I don't know, it makes you think, makes you think about the current system and like, is it really right? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's kind of...
it's weird, though, right?
It's honestly...
It's really weird.
Almost impressive that back in 1776, just late 1700s, when America was getting established, we were able to come up with a democratic system that allowed for the old ideals of America to stay strong through 200 years. That's like what the Electoral College is. It was built, it's almost like they had a time machine. It's almost like they could see the future. Because they came up with this idea that allowed for these old ways of thinking, no offense, to last through now. Because when you think about big talking points of what conservatives are all about, and you think about the 2020 we're living in, it's just... it's old way of thinking. It's very old. It's very locked in a traditional. Everything is tradition, and everything is. We're trying to be like who we were 200 years ago, but who we were 200 years ago was awful, slave owning, racist, killing people.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. It almost, the Electoral College is basically there because the logical person understands and has empathy. They have empathy, so they vote for the left. And I hate to say that I hate to single out Republicans because I understand low taxes, but there are certain ways of conservative thinking that just aren't empathetic.
Yeah. No, this is true. I mean, I don't think that they would like to go back, 200 years, but no, I get what you're saying.
But it's trying to keep that going in a way. It's
like resisting.
It's resisting
moving away from
the change that has happened. Since
I get
then.
What you're saying. No,
yeah.
I definitely get what you're saying.
It's trying to hold on to things.
And and then you can get into the topic about voter suppression and how poor people don't have access to vote like a lot of the rich people do, and you think, okay, well, maybe if they all had access to vote, how would the vote tally be, and then I think you would see some serious movement from the right, and you'd see some serious policy changes and different types of strategies change, because I think that a lot of people, or more often than not, people believe in liberal policies. And the problem is getting those votes in.
Yeah.
But I mean, back to the Electoral Colleges, what that tells me is my vote is worth less than people from Nebraska.
Dude, 100%.
It's 100%. That's what it means.
I couldn't agree more. And that's why, when people are when I know people who didn't vote in California,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you could...
I didn't... Dude, Frank, I told you this. I wrote in Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter, yeah.
But if it did matter, I would have actually gave it some serious thought, Well, I wouldn't... I knew who I was going to vote for.
And it was... California was a landslide.
And it's a landslide.
It's a landslide. And it was so crazy to me, when I was... 2 days before the votes were decided.
Yeah.
No, a week... Actually, Saturday... Okay, everything was decided on Saturday. A week before that, literally the Saturday before that, on the 91 freeway, I saw about 100 trucks in a caravan with the Trump flags. So it's it speaks to what you say. Most people are gonna vote for the liberal.
And
the liberal, but it's the people who are going conservative are so proud to be conservative.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason about being so proud to be conservative is about they also understand that conservative is holding on to the traditions of America. And they're very much America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In like not like an ironic sense, like not like in like a funny, jokey like America's #1. You know, like they're they mean it.
It's very proud, a very proudful
Yeah.
American,
Mm-hmm.
almost too proud, you know, like in your face type of shit.
Yeah.
And not recognizing, you know, things that are happening around the country that maybe you shouldn't be proud of America for, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, it's even an argument. Like, I'm not even just saying that, you know, hey, maybe the Electoral College isn't like great because, you know, what the fuck do I know? But there's that argument where Democrats would pretty much always win. I mean, you'd have to lose a lot of votes.
And it's the same thing, and you see the evidence in the fact, like you said, Hillary Clinton getting the popular vote, not winning, and then Al Gore getting the popular vote, not winning. That it's the same thing,
right?
You know,
right? And I mean, if California and New York and big cities are gonna swing the election, then I think that's how it should be. Like they're people. Those are people. If every person's vote counts, then that's how it should be. And like I was just about to say, this is not. I mean, it is an argument because, you know, Democrats would pretty much win all the time, but it's also an argument for the Republicans that don't even feel the need to vote in California. Like, if you're actual Republican in California, don't even go to the poll for your president because they're never going to win. You know? Well, I mean, maybe, who knows in the future, but they probably felt so, you know, why would I even vote? You know, now your vote would actually matter, you know, and like, I think voter turnout would turn up so much more. People would feel better about exercising the right because when they see that popular vote tick tally go up, they'll know I was part of that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I don't get the Electoral College. I mean, I get it, but it doesn't really make sense. Like, shouldn't every person's vote count the same?
You know, it's a lot like...
It's like someone will explain it and like, oh, like it makes it, oh, but like, you know, the big cities or the California would sway the election. It's that's unfair to the middle America. But it's like... But
we're all America.
And we're all Americans. And like, shouldn't we all have the same... Shouldn't our vote weigh the same?
Yeah.
Everywhere?
Everywhere. Shouldn't it's...
And I think that...
Yeah.
If you tried to introduce this, the Conservative Party would push back because they're like, well, we don't want to have to win over liberals, you know? But like, there's a ton of liberals that are sort of in the middle, you know? I'm kind of one of them, honestly. Like,
Dude, I mean,
there's principles about the Republican Party that I'm down for, and there's a lot of principles about the Democratic Party that I'm down for. I could use a little, you know, wish-wash. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like it would be better.
I agree. It's the Electoral College, in a way, is sort of like a crutch, you know? Kind of like you got... It'd be like if, you know, you and me were playing one-on-one, I would obviously give you a 5-point lead, you know? Because, you know.
Well, I mean, that's because I beat you before.
No. I would give you the 5-point lead because, like, I'm better than you. So, like, you need an advantage. So, like, the 5-point lead is like the Electoral College.
I mean,
and like Ryan is like the Conservative Party and I'm the Liberal Party, and like I have to give him the 5-point lead because like I'm the better basketball player. You know, I just had to bring that up just because I don't remember you beating me one-on-one.
Oh my god!
I will.
Oh my god!
I will admit to it, but like I don't remember it happening. But I was just trying to make a metaphor for Electoral College.
Well.
And it's like a crutch, you know. It's like a little boost.
Let it be known.
It's a little step
that I beat Frank 1-on-1 home court. Okay, it happened, and now all of a sudden you don't remember.
It comes in and out. Most of the time I don't.
It was so traumatic for Frank that he blocks it out of his memory.
Sometimes I can bring it up in the memory, but sometimes I can't. Right now, it's not loading, dude. It's buffering.
Well, I tell you what. How about you give me a 5-point lead, and then I'll crush you, and then I can beat you twice.
Yeah.
I'm okay with getting a helping hand.
Okay.
Because then I'll just continue talking shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do have to settle this someday, but for now, let's close her up.
Close it out, man.
All right,
brother.
Episode 44. Thanks for listening, subscribing, liking. We love you.
Cheers up.
Peace out.
Love y'all.